All right, everyone. So, welcome back to another YouTube video with Diego Reyes. And today I'm just going to share my screen. We're going to do a Zoom video and just a Zoom recording. And it's going to kind of go over actually a really good topic. And it's talking about depression and probiotic use. So, as research is going on, we're talking more about the gut-brain axis. And with that being said, it means the interconnected relationship between your gut microbiome and then your brain. I talked about in a previous video about how a lot of your neurotransmitters are housed in your gut, and specifically serotonin, okay, which is the, feel good, neurotransmitter. And, neurotransmitters are pretty much, things that really help you with your mood, your cognition, how you feel, and all of that. So, with that being said, with having these gut issues or whatever, you know, it should be indicated that they can lead to depression-like symptoms, anxiety, and those type of things. So I kind of want to go over some of the research, about it and everything it has to do with it. So let's break it through down. All right, so we'll get back to it here. So what we're going to get through is, the link between depression and how probiotics can actually be a good form of therapy for it. Okay, so what we got here is I have all PubMed studies, meta-analysis, meaning they're large group studies. They're, they're the highest form of the study, I should just say, to make it very simple. But if you're, someone who actually um, is super into the science and everything, it's not the actual term, but anyway, nonetheless, here we go. So in this study, they found that a probiotic, so there's different forms of probiotics. And you have to know what type of probiotic you're taking, meaning there's, different strains of probiotics, different species of probiotics, okay, and different things like that. But the most common ones that are usually found in studies and everything and found in most supplements is something called lactobacillus and Lactobacillus acidophilus. Okay, so that is an acid-loving bacteria. Okay, and then there's another one called bifidobacterium. Okay, so in this instance right here, they're talking about bifidobacterium. Okay, and what they found was is that it can help reduce IBS symptoms. Okay, and it can help with effects of psychiatric comorbidities, meaning a lot of anxiety and depression like symptoms. And everyone today is dealing with anxiety and depression, so this is a big one. And so what they pretty much found out with this study is that they use bifidobacterium probiotic blend, okay, to help reduce depression, okay, but it did not help with anxiety in this study, okay, but it did increase the quality of life with patients that did struggle with IBS, okay. This should be noted though. IBS can dramatically well, first of all, getting to the root cause of IBS is the best thing you can do. And how I like to do it with my clients is doing a GI map, which is a stool test. And that's going to find out, what is really going on inside the microbiome. Is it leaky gut? Is it some type of overgrowth? Is it H. pylori? Is it fungi? Is it candida? Is it fungal overgrowth? Okay. But yeah, first step would be that, and then removing inflammatory foods within diet or other things like artificial sweeteners and food additives. But nonetheless, taking probiotics can dramatically improve IBS symptoms. And a lot of big thing is that it helps with the limbic center of the brain, okay, which is like a main, control system for your body, okay. So this is the first study that I wanted to pick because I think it's important because if you are struggling with IBS or you do have a lot of depression-like symptoms, a probiotic could be useful. Another thing is that next study is elevated levels of gut dysbiosis, which means if you have, if you have an overgrowth of bacteria, that's what dysbiosis means. If you have an overgrowth of bacteria, okay, so what it's saying is that if you have an, overgrowth of bacteria, that is positively correlated with severity of sickness behavior in patients with severe mental illness and chronic fatigue. So what they're finding out is that gut dysbiosis can lead to symptoms of depression and anxiety and then chronic fatigue. So let's check out the study here real quick. You know, and as we go through, see, okay, so we know that, they're already taking, other data that there is, okay. Remember, this is PubMed. This is unbiased. This is legitimate data. Just anyone can put it there. This one doesn't have any conflict of interest either. Okay, so they know that reduced microdiversity, okay, so overgrowth of bacteria is already leading to, depression, low motivation, all that. And they just, you know, pretty much in the study talk about how using, when there is an overgrowth of bacteria, it can lead to many mental health symptoms. And this should be noted because if you're someone who's struggling with depression or anxiety, okay, because he even talks about anxiety here, you a probiotic could be helpful. Okay. Most probiotics, I'm saying, need to be high quality though. Okay. Let's get into the next one here. So we have right here is actually a big one here, and this is mostly talking about the the efficacy of using probiotics with antidepressants or probiotics as a standalone instead of antidepressants. And this one was pretty fascinating here. It's talking about how probiotics for adults, how they could be using probiotics to help with their depression instead of using antidepressants, but always talk to your healthcare provider before doing anything like that. So, it took 42 eligible it took 42 trials, okay? Because this is a meta-analysis, so this is just, the actual conducted literature. They conducted it, okay? And what they found throughout all the studies that they did was that probiotics compared with antidepressants and placebo may be efficacious as an adjunct or standalone therapy for treating major depressive disorder. That's what MDD is. Okay. So it's talking about now, if you are taking antidepressant, adding in a probiotic can help. So even if you are taking something like that, adding a probiotic can dramatically help with depression-like symptoms, and even anxiety. But if you are having those and you don't want to get on pharmaceutical drugs, which I, stand for, and I'm totally with that, then a probiotic can dramatically help. So that's kind of what this study is saying here, which is great. And this is pretty much a huge meta-analysis of it, just showing that everything like that. So next is actually, it's not really a part of, but this is like if you know someone or if you're struggling with hypothyroidism, that is linked with an overgrowth of bacteria, so meaning dysbiosis. Okay. So this is the big study, but then I also just have the summary here. Okay. So if we scroll down, we'll actually go to the review. Okay. And then it's the link between hypothyroidism and small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And in this, overview of the, study that we were just looking at up here, no, not there. Whatever. So yeah, the study we were looking up here. So what we found was, yeah, this study right here. So this is the overview of it. So what we found was that reduced motility is one of the risk factors for developing small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Hyperthyroidism is associated with altered gut motility. So what that means is that your thyroid gland actually helps with the movement and processing of food with inside your gut. So if you have a slowed, thyroid function, so high TSH and then low T3, T4, that can alter your gut motility. And from altering your gut motility, that can lead to just bacteria sitting there. And then obviously if it just sits there, it's just like a pond. And then, overgrowths happen, fungi happen. So you either can have fungal overgrowth, but then this one's talking about SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. So what does that do? Well, it's showing that if you have, either an altered gut or you have hypothyroidism, it can lead to one or the other. But it wants to talk about that people that treat their SIBO can dramatically improve their thyroid gland, their thyroid health. Okay, so that is really what I wanted to get at today was that mental health and gut issues and all of that. So, by the way, my name is David Reyes, functional health coach, functional nutritionist, owner of Complete Vitality Functional Health Coaching organization. We are a functional health organization that helps men and women just like you get to the root cause, reverse their chronic health condition, balance their hormones, lose 20 plus pounds of excess body fat, and make a complete transformation. We want to focus on not only giving you what you want, Okay, you want to look good, but giving you what you need. You want to feel good and you want to have optimal, bodily physiology function. So we're working on root cause approach. We do lab testing, we do hormone testing, okay, to make a complete transformation, okay? Because, I don't want to just help you with the way that you look. Obviously, we're going to do that, but we want to help with your gut. We want to help with your hormones. We want to help with your mental health because this is all actually health and fitness. It is more than just training, dieting. It's more than that. It's a complete transformation. So that's what we're focused on here. And if you have any more questions, just leave it in the description below or in the comment section below. And yeah, so if you want to work with me, you can just email me or check out my website or check out my Instagram or any of my other YouTube videos. Appreciate the support and have a good one.